be, I'm gonna paint them wet on dry. And so for now, I'm just going to paint something that you can probably barely see. But it's just a light wash of the color that would be mortar. So sort of a light tan color. Let's see if I bring it in closer, if you can see it. There we go. So it's really not too much. So Ima Kalani, is that how you say your name? Ima Kalani O'Leary says, yes, they are doing art and school. Very nice. Very nice. So yeah, I'm going to be painting some bricks. So right now I'm just going to get a little nice wash going with a little bit of ochre, yellow ochre as the mortar in the bricks. So that's one of the things about watercolor, is you always can start with those nice light background colors before adding other things to the painting. So this is going to just sit aside and dry. So I'm doing it first, because if it's going to have to dry, I'll have to do it first. All right, that should give me lots of space to practice painting bricks. It's a square about this big. I'm sure you probably can't see it, but that's all right. Now let's move this aside, and I'm going to grab a little bit nicer of paper, and that way I can work with my new Daniel Smith colors. All right, Emmy Kalani. Emmy Kalani. Did I get it? Emmy Kalani. That could be it. Or it could be Emi Kalani. Maybe it's Emi Kalani. Okay, it's one of those, I hope. All right, so we're just going to put this aside so we can paint some bricks in a little while. And now grabbing some nicer paper, and we're going to do a little bit of a wash here with my some swatching, I guess. Here, I'm going to just grab my Canson. I've got an Aquarelle Canson. It's just the XL, the 140-pound watercolor paper. It's pretty decent paper, not expensive, but pretty decent. All right, so there, that's good. Okay, we're cooking with gas now. Was off to a rocky start. You couldn't hear me. I couldn't hear you. I still can't hear you, but that's, that's the way this works. So yeah, so how's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're finding ways to keep the fun in your life, even though things are a little different than they have been. So she says it's like saying the letter E. I got it. Emi Kalani. Emi Kalani. Okay, so I'm gonna swatch out these new colors just to see how they look. And when you open a brand new tube of watercolor, you have to be a little bit careful because sometimes it oozes out of the tube. So I'm just going to be careful as I open this and see what happens. Not too bad. So there we have cobalt teal blue. Just going to get this little bit out of the cover. It's pretty. I bet it's going to look really great mixed with some other blues and yellows and greens. I like it. So blue is my favorite color. Purple as well. But I love the color of the ocean. So I'm always on the hunt for a watercolor that is like the color of the ocean. And right now I'm going to just put some of these paints into some tubes so that they'll dry. And we'll see how they go down on paper. So like I said, these are Daniel Smith colors, and this one is called Cobalt Teal Blue, and I'm going to put it on the paper. All right. So today I am going to be painting with watercolors. That's the theme of today's live stream. I see Molly is here. I see Molly has a request. Looks like Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm not going to be doing that today. Sorry to disappoint you, but yeah, I'm going to paint with watercolors. So here we go. I'm just going to check out these colors, see how they look and how they feel. I'm going to put this one on a little thicker. There's a little bit of a glare coming out of my workstation, but we're going to make do. All right, so that's a nice teal blue. Just going to pull it some water, see if it's going to be what's the word? See if it's going to be granulating or not granulating. That's very pretty. I like it. All right. Ima Kalani has to go. See you later. Thanks for joining us. And now I'm going to have a look at this one is a moon glow. So again, opening it carefully so it doesn't squish everywhere. And that one's not too bad. Just pop a little bit out here. Oh, such a beautiful, rich color. So I just kind of got colors that I loved, and I don't even know if they're going to be useful. But I guess if you love a color, it will be useful. I'm curious to see how they'll interact with each other even. So here we go with Moon Glow. And I'm always curious who might be here that hasn't said hello. Maybe you haven't said hello because you're watching on a smart TV or something that's inconvenient to chat with. Maybe you didn't say hello because you're shy. This is Moon Glow, Daniel Smith. Maybe you didn't say hello because you don't speak English. No, maybe you just don't feel like chatting. That can be a thing. All right, I'm going to just pull it this way and see what happens. All right. Oh, it's so pretty. My eyes love color. What's your favorite color? You can tell me the answers to that. All right. So those look good. This one is definitely more granulating than the other one. You can see that it's like pooling. It's little, it moves with the water more than the rest. And let's put that one into a little tin. And then we're going to see if we can make some art with these colors. All right. Moon Glow into the tin. Boop, boop. All right. So it's always a good idea to make sure you get the color all the way to the bottom of the pan so that it sticks and stays in there. And I'm just trying to get the cover on properly. Also important to seal up nicely. All right. That's going to be all right. So there we have our Moon Glow and our teal blue. And now I have this other one that I didn't pronounce very well before, but it's a permanent alizarin crimson. Permanent alizarin crimson. And let's pop that onto this tray. And it's a nice bright red. It's like a fire engine red. I like it. All right. So let's just grab a little bit of that. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. It's a very pigmented red. And like, I'm not a professional watercolorist. I'm just a person who loves to paint. So I'm curious. I have to Google this or research this to find out what it means when it's called permanent. Why is it called permanent alizarin crimson? Why is it not just called alizarin crimson? So is it called permanent because it's got some like ink in it and dyes that are more permanent, or is it light fast? I don't think it has to do with light fastness, but it's definitely a pretty color. But I don't know what it means. All right, so those are my 3 new Daniel Smith colors. And now I'm curious to do, so that's a very granulating turquoise. You can see it's landing right into the depths of the paper. One more for the pans. I'm going to put this into the ink pans. If you guys want to say hello in the chat, let me know you're here, and you can also let me know where you're from. All right, I'm just going to scooch some paint down into the bottom of this one. That's plenty. All right. So now, I mean, we could mix some of these together to see what happens. I'm curious. I feel like this one will just dull these two down, and I feel like these two are a little bit competitive. They might give us kind of actually might kind of blend out to give a similar color to that. I wonder. I feel like that's what's going to happen. We're going to find out. All right, I'm going to find out what's going on here. So, moment of truth. So let's blend them right on the paper. That's always kind of fun. Let's start off with, we'll put the light color down first. So let's put down some teal. And then let's grab a little bit of alizarin crimson. This is a really strong color, so it's probably going to wash it in quickly. Yeah, I wasn't wrong. It's a very neutral purple. The kind of cool thing about when you do this is you can see the two colors interacting on the paper. So instead of it being just a purple, it's the purple with the blue showing through with it, and the red too. All right, let's mix that a little bit more and see what happens. Let's maybe mix it over here on the palette. So we'll take some turquoise and we'll take some crimson, and we'll put them together on the palette. All right, so there you can see that sort of, oh, that's a really like brooding sky kind of color, like the color you might see if it's going to be stormy weather. All right, so now let's try mixing the moon glow into those other two colors. So we'll start off by doing that right on the paper. So we'll take this crimson and we'll put it here. Make sure we keep it moving with some water. And then we're going to grab a bit of moon glow and we're just going to charge in right there. Ooh, I like that. So it's really intensifying the depth of that color more than anything. And then we see Stephanie Delgado is here. Hey, Stephanie, how are you? Nice to see you. I wonder how things are in your part of the world, wherever that may be. So yeah, I'm just going to add a little more moon glow into this, alizarin crimson, just to see what happens. I think that would make a really nice shadow in something red. It looks a little nicer in real life than it does here on the. I wonder if I could just cut that light just a tiny bit. It's super bright. I just take something like this, just bring it in. You get a little less intensity, perhaps. Well, maybe it makes no difference whatsoever. Maybe it makes it worse. Yeah, it's pretty bright. It's pretty bright. Move it this way. All right. So let's see. Now we're going to do the other one. We're going to mix the teal with the moon glow. So let's grab a nice glob of teal. Get that going on here. Take a little bit right out of the tray. And then we'll grab some moon glow. Bring that in. Yeah, it makes just a really nice undercolor. I think I'll be using that for shadows quite a lot because it doesn't, for both of those colors, it enhanced them, but it didn't muddy them, which is interesting. Interesting. All right. So that's what's going on there. That's what's going on there. Now, I was hoping to do a little bit of experimenting with salt Wonder if I have enough room to do that. I'm going to say I do. All right. Hey, everyone. How's it going? I'm just chilling here, doing some swatching of my new Daniel Smith colors. Should label these. So if you didn't see me get started, you might not know what I have here. But this first one is the Cobalt Teal Blue. Show you that. Daniel Smith, Cobalt Teal Blue. That was this one. And I bought it because I thought it looked like the beach. And it's Cobalt Teal Blue. And I love the beach, so it made sense to get that. And then I got this one, and this one is a granulating color, and it's called Moon Glow. And I think this might be a Daniel Smith exclusive color. Like I don't think anybody else makes a color called Moon Glow. And then we have the permanent alizarin crimson, which is like fire engine red. And alizarin, I don't know how to spell that. A-L. Alizarin crimson. All right. And now we're just going to see what happens if we use some salt in with some of these colors. I guess I'm interested in all three of them. So let's get started with that. I've got some Moon Glow on my brush, and we're going to make sure I keep it kind of wet because salt does best when it's been kept wet. Now I'm actually going to pull this paper off because it's going to also have to sit to dry while we wait to see what happens. So that I don't have to try to tear it out of the book. I'll move it now. And I'm just going to paint a nice big square right up here. Be really nice if that light wasn't so intense. Wonder if I flick one more light on in the room. Sometimes adding more light fixes problems. I'm just going to turn my overhead light on. Not sure if it helped or not, but couldn't have hurt. All right, so here we have it, and I have some Himalayan rock salt. I'm going to go ahead with this one. So, boom, boom, boom. There she be. I'm going to let that dry. And now we'll put a little swatch of something else. Oh, look, Will is here. Midnight, thought I'd pop in. I wish it could have been a little earlier. Watch the replay tomorrow. Yeah, I get it. It's a problem with time zones, isn't it? I'm really glad you had a chance to say hello, though. It's partly due to Manor Mysteries that I'm here today because I haven't done a live stream in a while. I've got some plans for some things coming up, trying to get that organized. And yeah, I just haven't had a chance to say hi to you guys for a while and thought it would be nice to just pop in and say hello. And he mentioned that it's been a while. So I agree, it has been a while. So I thought, hey, let's get together and do a little chat while we do some painting. All right, so here we have alizarin crimson. Now we're going to put some Himalayan rock salt on there. And let's just put it in my hand first. And then drop it on the top. All right, Himalayan rock salt. All right. So it's a pretty quiet crew here today. People are in and out saying hello. I didn't give you very much notice either, so there's that. Okay, last one. I'm going to do our teal. And we're going to see how that one reacts to the salt. All right, let's see, make sure there's no salt down before I start my square. I think this paint is very thick. It's also very transparent. That's interesting. This paint is very transparent, this color. I guess it probably says that on the tube as well. It's probably a transparent color. I wonder if it's staining or non-staining. All right, so before that dries, dump a little salt on top. And then we're going to set these aside and see what happens after they dry. Okay, so there's that. Salt on colors. And we'll reveal that in a little while. All right. So let's see here. Moving this aside without spilling it's going to be tricky. I'm just going to put it right on my laptop because that's not a bad idea. All right. So another thing that I was going to plan on doing today was practice painting some bricks. So all I have here is a bit of paper with a nice backdrop of tan. And I'm going to grab a square brush and do some individual bricks. Now, I watched someone else do this, and they were extremely talented at it. So I probably will not be that talented. And I don't even have a square brush that I can locate. I think there is one here somewhere. But it's probably hiding behind my laptop. Let me see. Well, there's this one. Let's see. Well, it might be bigger than I was hoping for, but better than nothing. Let's see how this one compares to this other set that I've got behind me. Decisions. I think it's probably good. All right, it's probably good. So we're going to paint some bricks, which means we need brick colors. So bricks are usually browns and earth tones because they're made from clay, I think, or some kind of rock. So let's see what we've got here. So the idea behind this is we're going to drop down, hold, and lift off. And we're going to make an alternating brick pattern. We're going to try and go straight, and we're not using a ruler. So there's that. You know, this is how I do things. I like to learn the hard way, and that's definitely the hard way. So we're just gonna do it. Just gonna do it. All right, so colors for bricks. I'm just gonna get a test swatch page so that I can, oh look, you might have seen that on my Instagram today. A splash of coffee. All right, lots of good stuff over here. We got some ladybugs from last year as well. That's what happens when you move. You find things that you forgot where they were. Forgot you even had them sometimes. All right, so we're gonna mix up some brick color and then we're gonna go for it. So let's see, we'll get some. These are a combination of Winsor Newton and Daniel Smith colors. So this, I believe, is quinacridone gold. So let's just get a little bit of this out. And that's going to look like this. Yes. Oh, I love it. It's one of my favorite. It's like a nice coppery, rusty gold. Hello. I see Luminaria is here. Hello. How are you? What's up with you? What have you been up to? How are things? So yeah, we're going to get that color going. And then it'd be nice to have another little bit of another color blending in with that as well. So what could we throw in there? Oh, you're doing great. I am so glad to hear it. What part of the world are you in? Want to share that with us? And so to go with this Quin Gold, I'm going to grab a little, maybe like burnt umber or something. Something simple. Some simple brown. That will be hiding down here. Came loose. It hopped right out of its little spot. I think I need to put more in the tray because it's not attached at the moment. You know what I need to do is get my paints wet. So California, nice. And Southern California, nice. I have not been to Southern California in a long time, but I have been. I've been to I've been to La Jolla, San Diego, and we drove along the 5, went to San Onofre Beach, went to Mission Beach, Ocean Beach. We went to all the beaches, but that was a long time ago. I'm gonna say it was 20 years ago. And also, oh, that's not the color I thought it was. That's how you pay attention. I also went to Tijuana. Drove over the border and did a little touring around there just to check things out. All right, so there we go. We got some brick colors going here now. So what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to paint these bricks freehand, mixing between these 2 colors, and see if I can get a nice straight set of bricks. So you probably can't see, but already there's just like painted a wash of brick color. And now I'm going to try and paint the bricks with this brush. It's a flat brush, and I'm going to try and paint in a straight line. I might have to hold my breath, which is the thing I do. And I should probably like tape this down because my paper is totally curled up. I don't think I have mask right here, but I do have some Scotch tape. You know, don't try this at home, people. Don't use Scotch tape on your desk, but I'm going to do it anyway. All right, so I've got some more people joining saying hello. We've got someone from Sweden. Hello, nice to see you. Slave of Lunacy. So, are you new to my channel? Have you been subscribed? If you can tell me your history. How do we know each other? How do we know each other? All right, so there I go. Taping things to my desk with Scotch tape. Now I'm going to attempt to paint straight lines with this brush. I keep talking about it. Eventually I'm going to do it. So here we go. Luminaria says, I got Tombos, 24 color pencils, ooh, Premier, 24 Prisma markers, and 6 skin tone Copics and marker paper. Oh, you're set. You are set. There's nothing better than fresh supplies. And Luminaria saying also that she crochets and knits. And the Star 22 is here. Painting a brick wall. I am. I'm painting a brick wall on paper. A paper-sized brick wall. We also have Eliyahu Kikirov. Hello. Nice to see you. All right. So I'm going to try to paint this brick wall on the bricks. So the idea is you put the brush down and then you pull it and then you stop. And then you leave just enough space to leave the mortar between the bricks, and you try to make them all the same size. So that is also challenging. Now this one has got a little more paint in it. Now I'm also going to mix between these 2 colors. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of my quinacridone gold just to vary up the browns a little. And then I'm going to put this down again, drag and lift, and put it down again, drag and lift. So far, so good. Slave of Lunacy says, I've been subscribed for a while. Kind of a silent subscriber, but I love your drawings. I do some digital drawings sometimes, although not very good, haha. Well, you know what? None of us are very good in our own opinion. And we also get better the more we do it. So my suggestion is if you enjoy making art, you should just keep making it and don't judge it. Let other people judge your art. Don't judge it yourself. Because I often think as well that if you think you're bad at art, it just means that you have a really good eye, and your eye knows what it likes, and your hand hasn't caught up yet. We're saying hello as well to Curie Fire. I love drawing. Awesome. I love drawing too. Today I'm painting. Thanks for joining. I'm glad you popped in. And maybe you guys can tell us where in the world you are. I know that Slave of Lunacy is in Sweden, and I know that Luminaria is in Southern California. So if you want to say where in the world you might happen to be, that would be awesome. Okay, I've done 1 row of bricks. They seem to be relatively same sized. Now I'm going to make the next row. And the trick with laying bricks is you have to stagger them so that the brick wall doesn't break. So when you make the next set of bricks, you put the between spots in the middle of the brick above them. So like if I was actually building a brick wall, I would have to start at the bottom, but painting is easier if you start at the top and make your way down. So your hand doesn't get smudging all of your work. All right. So this is actually the first time I've done this. I've seen other people do it, and I thought it looked easy. It's not hard. So there's that. All right. So now I'm going to continue with my next row. I guess I should put a little half brick here, because if the wall started right there, ooh, and then they touched each other, which I was trying not to do. So let's see if I can pull up some of this color, at least a little bit of it. And then I'll do the same thing over here, which is make just a small piece of a brick. Okay, next row is going to be some more of these browns. All right, so I've got DJ. Hi, DJ, first time. Thanks for saying hello, and thanks for stopping by. And the Star 22 is in Iowa. Awesome. I have never been to Iowa. Tell me something cool about Iowa. All right, here I go. Next row, bricks. It was super exciting, isn't it, you guys? Watching me paint bricks, one brick at a time. We're also waiting on our salt experiment with my new Daniel Smith colors, which are sitting on my laptop. Oh, I need a little more color. I'm liking the variation in these bricks. I'm using some burnt umber and quinacridone gold. I'm trying to make them equal sized, which is not easy, but it's not too bad. So what's everyone been up to? I know I've been spending lots of time at home these days, so there's that. And schools are closed in my area. Get a little more brown, make sure I have the right brown though. Yeah, schools are closed, most businesses are closed. Just the important stuff is open, like grocery stores and I guess Walmart, you know, essential shopping type things, but there's no restaurants open and no fun things to do. We had our parks were closed even until just this past weekend. Finally, we can go in parks again, so that's good. But yeah, art is not closed. That's the good thing. That's the good news. All right, next row. So this is gonna be a half brick so that I can line the ends of these bricks up with each other. So I'm also noticing that I have to try to be more careful about how equally my bricks are spaced. So this next row, the mortar is a little thicker. So I will try to improve that in my next row. And I'm going to try to keep on picking up a little more paint so I keep my color somewhat variable and not getting too faded at the edge. All right, well, this isn't so bad. Not so bad at all. I think the bricks got a little smaller in this row. I'm still going to try not to let that happen. All right, this is how we learn. All right, is this what you tuned in for, to watch me how to learn to paint bricks? Perhaps it is. All right, so here we go. Next row. Trying to keep the mortar equally spaced, trying to keep the bricks the same size as the row before. And I think we're going to do it. We are going to do it. All right. Slave of Lunacy is saying almost everything is open in Sweden except schools and universities. All right. And so that's interesting. I'm happy to hear that you guys have stuff open. And I wonder, like in Canada, the problems, the virus seems to be the worst in long-term care homes where people are already sick and having to live and be cared for by others. So I wonder if what's going on in Sweden about that. Like, how are they protecting the vulnerable populations, or wonder what the plan is there. And what does everyone do if they're not going to school or university? Are they doing online schoolwork, or that's what they're doing here, is they're doing the school online. Okay, these bricks got a little faint, and they're all different sizes. So I was doing great, and I'm doing less great now. That's what happens when you try to talk while you work. It's okay. You can't be perfect on your first try at anything. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line, and then I'm going to start a new row and see if I can do better. Because if I keep on going on these ones, they're all different shapes now. Different shapes. They're all different sizes. So that wouldn't be the best. So I'm just going to draw a line here with my handy dandy letter stencil. And I'm going to do another row. See if we can do better. Pretty sure we can. All right. Here we go. Row number 6. Okay, so we're gonna go. Let's make sure this one's bigger. Get a little more paint. About the care homes. Okay, I'm curious to see what you have to say about that. So I'm just gonna bring it up. That's already become a problem here as well, unfortunately. For schools over, yeah, online. So are you a student, or are you online schooling, or do you not? Are you done school? That's what I would like to know. And is anyone else painting bricks, or is it just me? You guys should paint some bricks. Definitely find a square brush, a flat brush, and paint some bricks. Make sure they're all about the same size as each other. Try to paint your lines straight. Try to keep your bricks about the same size. All right, and try to keep enough paint on your brush that the bricks are visible. Part of the problem is this is not a watercolor brush. It's just an all-purpose brush. And all-purpose brushes do not hold water equally. All right, so there's my foundation row. That's a very important row to get right. And now we're going to go into the next row. I'm just going to add a little bit of interesting color into these bricks so that they're not so flat. Okay, next row. And let's see, what is he's answering me? Yeah, in university, so there's online classes. That's cool. Yeah, it's good to have the internet. I don't know what we would do without it right now. It's keeping people connected and helping us to do all the things that we need to do. Okay, so now all the bricks have to be the same size. Let's see if we can manage this. I'm sitting on my foot. I'm going to get serious here. Might hold my breath. You never know. All right. Trying to keep them the same size. Trying to keep the mortar the same width. And I'm trying to keep my line straight. I think if I just really concentrate on the brick above, that will help. I think. Grab a little more color. A little more color. All right. Okay. Stick with the process. Sorry, no, but I will have to in time. I know I asked you a question. We were talking about Iowa. And then I don't remember what the other question was, unless you're answering somebody else's question, which is possible. All right. Okay, so I did pretty good on that row. It's all right. Just gonna add a little more darker brown. Keep this a little bit variable. Square up that corner. Awesome. All right, I have LPS Boba Tea. Hello, nice to see you. What about a dog? What about a dog? What about a dog? What would you like to know about a dog? All right. So we have to do the same thing we were doing before, which is stop the brick halfway in the brick above. Oh, look, this is much better. I am definitely improving. This is definitely an improvement. All right. Oh, maybe you're answering the question from the title of this live stream, like, what should I paint? How about a dog? Yeah, that makes sense. I could paint a dog. I could definitely try to paint a dog. So let's see if we can get these bricks done. I'm learning to paint bricks and trying to get better and trying to keep everything straight and keep the distance equal from the row before and keep enough color on my brush and chat with you guys at the same time. I'm doing one of these things well, but that's about it. You can be the judge of which one that might be. All right. This is a very underwhelming live stream. Sorry, guys. I'm just not that interesting today. I haven't done a live stream in a while, so it's I'm a little out of practice. I'll blame it on that. Okay. So this is not too bad. In fact, you know, this row that I wasn't happy with before isn't so bad either. But let's keep going. Let's make another row of bricks. Make another brick in the wall. Haha, it's a song from the 80s. All right. I am holding my breath. I'm trying not to hold my breath. Oh, this is getting, I'm actually pretty happy with this. I'm going to just pull this over. Boom. All right, let's just put a little more color in these. The great thing about watercolors is that the color goes where the water is. So you don't have to worry about it like leaking out of the bricks onto the other spots. LPS Beau Petit is from the UK. Awesome. That is great. What part of the UK are you from? Are you from England, London area? I'm from Canada. I've been to the UK a couple of years ago. Took a nice trip through London mostly, and then we drove to the Channel and went over the ferry at Dover. We went to France. And then we went to Switzerland. And then we went to Italy. And then we went to Austria. And then we went to Germany. And then we went to Belgium. No, then we went to the Netherlands. Then we went to Belgium. And then we went back to France. And then we went back to the UK before coming back to Canada. That was a very exciting trip. We had a great time. Okay, my bricks are looking pretty good, but this can't be terribly exciting for you guys. London, very nice. London is a great city. It's got lots of ways to get around. You can take the train, you can take the tube, you can take the bus, you can call an Uber, you can walk a lot of places. All right, this is my last row of bricks. I think I've got it. I think I've figured out the system. The system is, don't care too much because bricks aren't perfect. And even if you go super slowly, you're going to make mistakes. So especially if you're going to be painting a very large building, you wouldn't want to take too long on the bricks. I said one more row, but then that one went so fast because I did what I said, which was don't fuss too much and just paint the bricks. And it turned out pretty good. So just going to do it some more. The trick is you do need a flat brush because the shape of the edge, the hard corner, is what keeps it. It's what keeps it brick shaped because it's really just a drop and dash. Drop and move and drop and move. So you don't need a stencil for this. You just need a straight, nice steady hand and a little bit of focus, which can be challenging. All right, I'm just adding a little more dark brown into these still wet bricks to make it a little bit more variable and interesting. Okay, that was the bricks. Brick house or bridge? I don't know. I think a brick house. And basically just bricks. So that was pretty good. I think I will definitely be able to incorporate those into some future art. Now let's pull this tape off of my disc without destroying too many things. And then we're going to check on our salt to see how that worked out. I bet you it's dry enough to get it going. And so, here they are. I'll show these to you up close so you can see the beauty of the bricks that I painted. Let's see if we can get this in focus. Boom. All right. So, let's bring it so low. There you go. There's all the bricks I painted. And so you can see the variation in color on the individual bricks because I used two colors. And there is a background color. I'm not sure. It's really hard to see. I guess you can faintly make it out down at the bottom there. That was for the mortar of the bricks. And, you know, I tried harder and did a little bit more careful work on the bottom half of this. But in the end, I don't know that it's really any better than my first try. I think they were both pretty good. I think when you're focusing, when you're looking close up and trying too hard, sometimes you're too focused on particular things and you end up feeling like something didn't work when it really did. Okay, so now let's grab our paper that's on the laptop and pull the salt off of these little swatches. All right, so let's see. Get a little bit of paper towel and just pop this down so I can catch all the bits of salt and they don't make a big mess. So just what the salt does is it gives, it sucks up some of the paint and it gives variability to, like, it makes a texture. It's awesome for things like scales on fish. Slave of Lunacy says, getting late in Sweden, have to go. The brick wall came out nice. Have a great day, evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm just glad you popped in. The star says, nice job. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm gonna get all of this salt off of here. I'm gonna actually grab a brush that has like a little scrapey end. I'm going to use that to just kind of flick it off so that it's all removed. It got really sticky, like it very much stuck to the paper. Interestingly, too, it's very subtle. And I don't know if that's because of the paint or if it's because of the paper choice or how long I left it to dry. We're just going to check this out. Okay, so here we go. This is. I'll flip the camera around here so you get a better view. This one is the Moon Glow. So you can see there's no salt on there anymore, but you can see that it's got this sort of pebbly texture all over the color. It's kind of neat. And then here we have the Crimson. Same thing. It just gives variability to color. And then here we have the teal. And again, it looks like that there's still salt on there, but it's not there. So you can make pebbles or any kind of texture that way using salt on your paints. All right, so hello, focus. Let's see what we can do here. It'll take a second. It'll find something to focus on. In the meantime, I'll just pop this back over here. Wait for it to decide to focus. All right, so what to do next? Something that's fun to do is create like a galaxy background and then do something that's in silhouette. So maybe I'll paint a background that could be a sunset. And then once that's dry, I can put some silhouettes over the top. Sunset or moonscape? What do you guys think? Should I do a sunset silhouette or should I do a moonset silhouette? All right, that's focused. Stay focused. You can do it. You can do it. All right, we did it. Now, I'll grab another piece of paper and let's see, what do I have here? This looks like it is probably also Kansan. I cut it for another project and I didn't mark what it was, so it's a mystery, but it's definitely paper. Okay, so I'm either going to do a moonscape or I'm going to do a sunset. Maybe I'll do a moonscape because I have moon glow. That's a good idea. Okay, so I'm going to use my moon glow and I'm going to paint a moonscape. And basically, first of all, I'm just going to paint a wash that's going to kind of provide the like the light from the sky. We had a super moon last night, so I'll try to leave a nice big moon in the center, and we'll see where we can go from there. I got a wow from Carla. Hey Carla, nice to see you. Thanks for popping in. So here we go. We're going to start off with a moonscape. So I've got a fairly large brush, and the first thing I'm going to do is try to keep the area where the actual moon is going to go a little bit open. So I have turquoise on this brush, which I did not expect, so that's cool. I'm going to go with it, because that's what happens. Bob Ross always says there's no such thing as mistakes, only happy accidents. So we're just going to believe Bob, because Bob knows everything about art. All right, so now I'm just trying to get my paper wet and spreading around this turquoise or teal, it's teal, that I didn't plan on having, so it doesn't get harsh lines. Anytime you put paper, watercolor down on paper, if you want to avoid the lines being, if you want to avoid edges, it's important to not let them dry. And now it's also important to not leave puddles of water on your paper. So I'm trying to get my paper wet with no puddles. So a little bit of a challenge, keeping it wet enough, but not puddling. And this is not the most expensive. This is a paper. It's not a cotton paper. So it's definitely it dries fast. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so now moon glow. And we're just going to charge that in and give us a nice moody sky background. All right, lots of color there. And now I'm just going to pull it through the sky right into that teal. It's the moon set. There you go. Holding my breath as I do. All right, and spread. Now, I think I need more water in my paper. More water in my paint. I actually think I need a different paper. I think I need to get out my B paper, something a little more absorbent, slower drying. So this paper is really curling. I'm just going to go with it for now, but it's going to be hard to work with because of that. And you guys probably can't really see it at all because there's a reflection. All right. So now I'm going to charge in with even more color here and add a bit of water to move it. Okay. Now, something you can do is you can pull up some of the color to give it a little bit of like clouds. So I'm just using my little bit of paper towel and just going back over that to pull up some of the color. All right. Now we need to establish the ground. Well, hello, Shalandera. No, Shalendra. How's Shalendra doing today? And tell us where in the world you might happen to be. All right, so I got the sky, I got a moon. I'm going to show it to you closer so you can actually see it because, wow, it's very, very reflective. Boom, boom. There it is. All right, so now the earth will be a deeper color. So I'm just going to pretty much pull this with, get a little bit wet and then come in with some almost pure color. Here we go. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this paper. It's definitely not cooperating. Let's just say that. It's not holding the water as nicely as I would like. Probably it's not the paper I thought it was. I thought it was Canson, but now I'm rethinking that, and I think it's probably Artist Loft. I just know it's a scrap that was already pre-cut. So I'm stuck with that. All right. So in order to paint a silhouette, the background has to be dry. So I'm just gonna see here if you can get a little focus on that. It's got a lot of really pretty colors. It's still a little blurry there, isn't it? It's got a lot of pretty variety in the sediment. Yeah, I'm just gonna pull up some bee paper and just see how that moon glow looks on a cotton paper, because cotton makes a big difference. Paper makes a big difference. Using good paper is make or break when you're doing art. Knowing how your paint behaves on your paper helps you paint better. If that makes any sense. All right, let's see here. I got some bee paper. Only 2 sheets left. That's not very much. All right. Now, let's get some water in these watercolors. And here we go. Moon glow on bee paper. So much better. So much better. It's amazing the difference it makes to use. I think if you're going to spend money on anything when it comes to watercolors, it really should be on the paper. You can find some pretty decent brushes for not a lot of money, and you can find some pretty decent paints for not a lot of money. But when it comes to paper, wow, yeah, that's way better. Okay, so now we're going to finish this piece on here. The star is asking, do I use tap water or filtered water? In fact, I use tap water because we have very good quality tap water in my city, so I don't have to worry at all about contaminants. Now there's a little bit, but we have a water reservoir, I think that's what you call it, locally. So mostly the water comes from that. What do they call it? A water preserve? Oh, I don't know. All right, but I'm already liking better what's going on here. So here's my giant moon. in the sky because, you know, supermoon. It was a supermoon tonight, last night. It's a full moon, and it's the last supermoon of 2020. So if you want to see a large full moon close to the Earth, this is the last one that's going to be this gigantic. All right. So, I mean, already I'm happier with this just because the paper is responding to the paint the way I'm expecting it to. And I'm able to get a good amount of variety in the sky just by pulling that water and paint along. So it looks like a really misty, cloudy, stormy sky. I'll just drop a little bit more. Well, hello, Mass. M-A-S. Nice to see you. I see you have a Pikachu as your avatar. I caught a Pikachu today with a hat. I don't know, an event Pikachu playing Pokemon Go. And it had a fancy hat. So I'm not sure why. Yeah. It's raining here today. Oh, and cold and rainy. I swear it was like winter. But no, it's May. So what part of the world are you in, Mass? That's rare. Yeah, I think it is rare. It wasn't shiny, but it did have a hat. An event Pikachu, I think they called it. I don't know what the event was. Do you play Pokemon Go? I just started playing again recently. I played it back when it first came out. And then I stopped, like probably a lot of people. And then there was a pandemic and I was bored. And so I started playing again. The US, you're in the US, nice. And you do play Pokemon Go, very, very good sometimes. And Elizabeth says, I should do an animal cell. Cool, I could do an animal cell. Right now I'm doing a stormy sky in silhouette, a moonscape, if you will. So now we're getting down to the part where it's the ground. And once this is dry, I'll be able to go back over it and paint some images in silhouette. Some maybe trees and birds, things that you can't see the details of, but just the outline. So here I go, just adding a little more of this moon glow up to the bottom of the painting. Dinner time for MAS, and they'll be back. All right, have a good dinner. Let us know what you had. Tell us how tasty it was. Thanks, Elizabeth. Glad you like it. All right. So now the thing I'd like to do is I would like to add into the moon, I would like to add some like moon surface features. So this is probably not going to focus, but I'll bring it up closer anyway. We've got some sky, and then we just have a blank for the moon. Then we've got some lower down areas. It's going to let all of that dry. I didn't bring my hair dryer in with me, so we're not going to be able to dry it quickly. I meant to, but I had so much going on here. I had technological difficulties before starting today's stream. So it meant that not everything happened the way I wanted it to. But we're here, and that's what matters. I'll check the time here as well. All right, so it's 1/4 past the hour, and we're probably just going to go for another 15 minutes. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so inside the moon, I've got another brush here. This one's nice and clean. I'm just going to paint like, this is like moon craters, etc. And I'm just going to grab a tiny little bit of this gray. I'm just dabbing it. Oh, you can't see this, but you're going to see it in a second. I'll show you. I'll bring it up. So this is the first pass at the moon rocks. You can see I just dabbed my color in, and that's going to spread out. And then I'm going to wait for it to settle. And then I'm going to come back in with a darker. So it'll have a little bit more texture in that area. And it's hard to be patient. So there's that. I want to paint on it again, but I have to wait. I'll blow on it. Maybe that'll help. I'm going to be impatient and do it anyway. All right. That's okay. It's a lot of color. So what I'm going to do now, same trick I did before with the bricks. I'm just going to grab that color and pull it off. Oh yeah, that's much better. So now there's like spots on the moon. Now I can grab my brush with a little bit of water on it and just soften the edges on those and maybe add a tiny bit of moon glow because it is the moon glowing. And just bring that across. Move that color along so that the sky matches the moon a little bit more directly. All right, there's that. Okay, so now everything is still wet, but I did want to make some silhouette. And you can all paint silhouette on wet. Let's look at those bricks again. Here they are. Maybe I could add something to this brick wall. What could I add to a brick wall with my markers? What could I draw on the brick wall? I could add graffiti. I could draw cracks in the bricks. I could draw spiders crawling up the bricks. I could draw a bird on top of the bricks. This is a brick like dividing wall. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll put a little bird on top. Maybe by then this will be dry. I'm gonna sit it underneath my light. Maybe it'll dry faster up there. It's fluorescent though, so probably not. All right. So what's everyone up to? How are people doing? What are you doing for art these days? Are you using art to keep busy? Or are you just watching YouTube? I've been watching a lot of YouTube lately. All right, bird on top of the wall. All right, so this is gonna be like a silly cartoon bird. So first of all, there's gonna be like, this is gonna be like the top of the wall. And then I'm gonna actually outline the edges of the wall. So we're gonna come down like this. Make a little official edge going down the side like this. And then we're gonna make an official top edge like this. And then we're gonna make an official other side. Yeah, so I had taken a little bit of a break from doing art. We moved and then life was busy and then everything changed. So I started getting back into it. I painted a really cute bluebird the other day. That made me happy. And I've been doing some sketching. Just trying to chill with art, which is nice. Elizabeth is back. Hey, Elizabeth. You weren't gone very long. And she has to leave again. Okay. So we've got the brick wall. we've got the top cap of the brick wall, and now we're going to just put a little cartoon bird up here. So here's his little legs, and here's his little birdie belly, and here's his little head and a beak, and then here's his little back, and he's getting ready to fly away. So his wings up in the air, and here's a little eyeball, and then tail feathers. There. Ta-da! All right. You have a project to do. Well, you know what? Your project you should go do your project. And we're just about finished here anyway. So I love you too. And you're also amazing, amazing as well. All right. So we're just going to call it, I think, you guys. I know it's been a very underwhelming live stream. This, I don't think, is going to dry in time to write on it. I still feel the water. So you can check my Instagram. I will create a silhouette image with my marker on this whatchamacallit. Of course, just when I'm about to leave, we have Gian Dried Joseph saying and we also have Gatcha Craft Girl saying hello. I saw your post, so I came. What am I painting? Well, I was painting a bunch of things. I painted a brick wall because I wanted to practice painting bricks, and I didn't do too badly at that. And I also tested out a few new colors. I got some Daniel Smith colors here, so I tested out the Cobalt Teal Blue and the Moon Glow, and also the Permanent Alizarin Crimson. So, and then I tested them out with a salt application using some Himalayan rock salt to give it texture. And then I created a background for a silhouette, a moon night silhouette. And so I've got the moon in the sky. It's a super moon, just like our moon right now. And then I've got this sort of moody sky. Now my plan is to create a foreground in silhouette, but it's still wet. So I'm going to have to wait. I've got Arrow Meow saying, your paintings are so cute. Well, thank you. I'm glad you like them. I think painting is a good way to get a break and relax. I'm just going to grab my sketchbook because everything else has to dry for now. And, you know, I'll chit chat with you for just a couple more minutes since a few people have decided to say hello. And I'll just grab, I was working on a mandala. I never know how to say that word. Mandala. Arrow Meow says my paintings are so cute, and Gotcha Craft Girl says, yeah, they're really so amazing. Well, I don't know if they're amazing, but definitely they're a lot of fun. So I'm just gonna move this out of the way. So what do you guys think? Mandalas. Is that the way you say it? Mandala? Mandala? I never know how to say it right. I just try to say it every way you possibly can. One of them is right. All right, moving these paints out of the way. And I'm going to continue mandalaizing my paper. And see, cleaning up my mess, just like my mama taught me. All right, mandalas. Okay, this is the pen I was using, I think, but I left the cover off, so it may be dry. This is another one similar. So let's check that out. Let's see what's going on with the pen first by scribbling over here. It's a little dry. Sketchcraft Girl says, even if I follow a tutorial on how to draw SpongeBob, I still can't do it. Well, it's one of those things. It's not always easy, and it does take practice. So my advice would be just like draw SpongeBob every day for a month, and by then you will have improved you will believe that you have improved, and you will have improved. All right, in order to draw mandalas, or how do you say that? Mandalas, you need a protractor. So I'm just going to grab one from my closet, my art craft closet, which is way over here. And of course, it's way up high. All right, so we've got the box with stuff in it. And da-da-da-da. Got it. I made tea. I didn't drink it yet. It's in the really nice mug that keeps it super warm, so I might still burn my tea, even though I might still burn my tongue, even though I made this tea like an hour and a half ago. It's still hot, very hot. So I can either continue to draw more of this mandala, or I could color that one, or I could start another one. I kind of like the way this one finished. Maybe I'll put another one like in the top corner, coming down to meet this one. I'll make a full circle one. That's what I'll do. So first thing we have to do is make a small middle. And then we have to come up with ideas. That's always the hard part. The ideas. Ideas are the hard part. Like everything in life. Once you have the idea, you're golden. All right, there's one circle. Now we make it bigger. And we find the same center. I'm going to mark my center just so I can keep finding it. Otherwise, I might not. So I had never made a mandala thing that starts with M until today. This was my first one. And you have to like make concentric circles and then make lines that radiate out. Hello, Sridhar Thurunagari. Hello. I like your avatar. It's a very cute dog. So yes, you have to make concentric circles, and then you have to make radial arms that go out from them at set distances according to radial symmetry, like equal distances. So I'm going to do that. But first, I have to finish the circles. Now you also notice that these are not the same distance apart. These are just like whatever distance I come up with as I make more and more circles. These are fun. I like using a compass. All right. I wonder why it's called the compass. I have no idea. So let's see. How big is that? Bunch of circles. One more. Not big enough. The further out you go, the more you have to adjust the compass. Okay. Compass. All right. I'm going to tighten this down a little bit. Let's see, I have a message on Discord. Oh, who's that from? Goodness. Okay. Ba-dum-bum. Now we are going to make a mandala. Oh no, first we have to do the part where you make the the vertical lines, or the radial lines. So now I need a protractor. I used to always mix those words up, protractor and compass. I used to think that this was a compass and this was a protractor, because compasses, like when you need to get places, they say north, south, east, and west, and this has like 90 degrees and directions on it. And then so a compass like shows you the directions, and then a protractor, I would think, was a thing that you could retract and it's protracting, but no. This is a compass. This is a protractor. And I'm going to say hello to Mume. Hello, Mume Carbonari. How are you? Where in the world are you? I'd also wonder where Sridhar is as well. You can let us know where in the world you are. Now, straight edge. And we're going to make some lines. Right. So this one doesn't really matter where I put it, as long as I use a pencil. And then after that, pencil. After that, they're all going to be equal distances away from that one. All right, so straight across we go with a faint pencil line. And then every 10 degrees or every 20 degrees? That is the question. So line this up. Line it up. There's a little shadow. I'm trying to make sure I have it perfectly lined up. That looks pretty good. Now, center, yep. Okay, I got it. Art is not easy. Yeah, it's not easy. It's pretty easy, but sometimes. Okay, every 10 degrees would be here. So 10, every 20 degrees. 130, 150, 170, and then over here we're going to have 70, 50, 30, and 10. Now, if I go through the middle, I should be able to get all of those lines from here. So, use my handy dandy. So, if I touch the middle and I touch this line here, my pencil, then it's going to be going through both. And then I do that every time. So that's what I always do when I'm trying to make lines with a ruler, is first I'll touch the spot, and then I'll put my ruler against it, and then I'll turn it to the other one. And then before I make my lines, I'll just dot on there to make sure that it's touching and that the ruler is actually touching. Otherwise, sometimes you end up with this little area that it's not quite lined up as much as you thought it was, because the part that was touching the ruler was not exactly lined up in the middle. All right. All right. So, have you guys ever made a mandala before? Is that how you say it? All right, we're getting there. Halfway done making these little lines. All right, right there. Center. I learned this trick from my lab partner in high school. She was really smart. And she had this little trick for lining up her dots. So her name was Dawn. And I never forgot it. I think her mother used to teach art classes. Pretty sure she did. So did mine, actually. All right. I think I'm almost done. One more. All right, this one. Let me put this on the other side so I can see it. And then the center. All right, now there's this extra line because I started in a funny place. So I'm going to erase this one mostly, just so it doesn't confuse me. But it is a pretty good spot to start if I ever need to divide one in half. Arrow Meow is still here. We're just being very quiet. I only ever made them when I was in school. Nice. I never did make them when I was in school. I only just made one for the first time earlier today. right here. The hard part is thinking up what shape to make next. But once you think of the shape, it's not so bad. Okay, so now let's see. I always wonder about putting color in them. What are you guys thinking about that? Like, do you like to leave them just black and white? Or do you also like to add color to them as well? I don't know. Okay, so this is probably the paper that's, or the pen that's half dead. Oh, look, art. Looking for that paper that page that I just scribbled on. Not that it matters. Oh, look, it's the guys from Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. I like to draw while I watch television. That was The Imposters. You ever watch that show? Some of them don't look like they're supposed to. Yeah. What else is in here? Oh, Casey Golden. Do you ever watch Casey's YouTube channel? She's an artist as well. Okay, this is as good a place as any to scribble. Okay, so these are both kind of blah. That one is more so. I'm going to use my micron for the middle. All right. So it's cool that you're still chilling here. It's a very chill live stream. Very chill. Also very hot tea. Okay, so let's see. For the center, I'm going to do something different than these ones. I'm going to make like a spider web. Actually, I do need my smaller one. This is so tiny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to like loop down toward the middle from each of those corners. So this is going to be like a bit of a starburst, I guess, is probably a good way of describing the shape I'm making. Okay, there's that one. Now I'm going to do something on the inside of that too. What will I do? Make triangles. Such tiny space. I could make a triangle in every other half, like this. And then I can color in everything except the triangles and everything except the triangles. Okay. So I'll leave the triangles white, and I'm going to color in everything around it. Except that didn't work. Oh, I skipped one. Okay. I'm going to have to color the whole thing in because I made a mistake. Bob Ross says there's no such thing as mistakes in art. What does he say they are? They're not mistakes. They're just something else. All right. So what I'm going to do instead of what I just tried to do. So I'm going to double up this starburst, and I'm going to color in the whole middle. Since I did a thing that Bob Ross would not call a mistake, or would call not a mistake. All right. Now I'm going to color in the middle. Nobody wants to guess. Bob Ross says there's no such thing as mistakes in art. There's only happy accidents. So I made a happy accident. I don't know if I was happy about that accident, but I did have an accident that has changed the way the center of this Mandala? I don't know. Mandala? I think it's man. And is it Dala or Dela? I don't know. All right, so there's that. Now I'm going to color in all of those little bumps. So So go around this edge. So obviously this is not a highly technically accurate mandala, but it's going to be all right. You know, if I was making it with software, it would be perfectly symmetrical and equal and everything would be the same. But where's the fun in that? I mean, honestly, life is not perfect. So neither is art. And let's just enjoy the imperfections. No such thing as mistakes in art. Only happy accidents. All right. So that is a very starbursty center. Now, we get to do the next section. So let's see. What shape will we put in this section? How about we put a bump with a line in it, like this. So bump, line. So the thing about making these is that you decide on a thing, and then you make the thing. And then you continue to make the exact same thing in all of the spots, all the way around. And then you decide if you want to color things in. And eventually you have a great big design. And I think it's nice if you kind of have a bit of a theme of your shapes. So like in this one, I tried to have a lot of triangles and diamonds. And then in this one, I tried to have more circles. And in this one, I had more flower designs. Now, it looks like this one's going to be kind of flowery also. It's starting to look a bit like a sunflower here in the middle. So we'll see what happens with this. All right. So there's that. Now I'm in the next row, and this one's wider. So we could make like petals, things that look like the shape of a petal. Oh, MAS is back. Hello, you're back. Thanks. Yeah, I'm making mandala. How do you say that word? I know the man part is right. Mandala or Dala? Day, D-A-Y, Dala, or Dalla, D-A-L-L-A? I'm trying to figure out how to say it. So if anyone knows the answer, that would be awesome. Okay, so this one's going to be shaped like a leaf. It's going to be leafy. So let's see. That's the size of it. All right, so we're just going to go like this. Leaf shapes. So from the center, out and in, out and in, out and in. Your dinner was good. Tell me, what did you have for dinner? I had a kind of a weird dinner tonight. I had like hummus and some beet chips and some carrot cake that my friend made that was very delicious. Some carrots, and I think that was all I had for dinner. Oh no, I had a croissant. Yes. It was a very not dinner. Okay, going around with leaf shapes. Now I have to decide what I'm going to do inside the leaf shapes, because obviously this is not enough design. And then I have to decide where I'm going to color the black, because black seems to be the thing that makes these look really solid and good. If you don't do any black areas, it looks a little bit feeble. So black areas are important. Maybe by the time I'm done this mandala, I don't know. Maybe by the time I'm done this, my other thing will be dry and I'll be able to do my silhouettes. All right. Okay, so now I have to decide where to put darker things. So I definitely think there needs to be darkness down here. So I'm going to color in this part for sure. Like around there. That's going to look good. Now this one's not touching properly. So that means I have to probably take the darkness all the way out. Or I have to make another line that goes up. I think I'll make a line that goes up between here and there. And then I'll just color the bottom. That works. So a line and then color. Like so. So what's everybody up to today? What was the weather nice where you are? Like for us, it was not nice weather today. It was cold. It was raining. It hailed a little bit. It was not a good day for going out anywhere. It's a good day to stay inside and draw mandalas. Mandalas. I think it's mandala. Is it? I don't know. Day or dal? I don't know. The way it's spelled, if it's like short A sound for the man part, because there's a D, like we follow the rules of phonics, we have a short A for the first A because there's two consonants. And then we have a long A for the second A because there's just one L. So it must be Mandala. It must be. It must be. So MAS is saying a good idea. And there's a little bird. And then a little bird and an egg. Good idea to go back maybe to work on the silhouette. I don't know. I'm not sure what idea I just had, but this is kind of fun. This is very relaxing. I hope you guys are doing this too. Make yourself a mandala and share it on Instagram and tag me. That'd be awesome. Okay, so we got our dark center. Now we're going to do some circles. I'm feeling the circle thing now. So right at the end of these poles that I just made, I'm going to draw circles on the ends of those. So it's going to be a circle here. And there's going to be another circle the same size right here. And I have to do a circle all the way around in all of these places. I have to try to make them all the same size. That's a bit challenging. It's easier if you get in a little bit of a rhythm, which is why I try not to stop halfway through. So I'll look at the chat after I make it all the way around, because that way my hand learns the size of the shape of this thing. So if I stop and then go back, it'll be different. They're still different, but it's okay. Different just enough. Okay, so now I've got the space in here between the circles that needs to be filled. So I think I'm going to do like a swoop down and then a swoop up like that. And I'm aiming toward the area where that other petal is. So it's just a swoop down and a swoop up. A swoop down and a swoop up. Oh, it's kind of making a flower shape. Swoop down, swoop up. And then I have to turn my paper because my hand needs to be comfortable. And I see we're having hello from India, from Tushar Yadav. And it's 6:20 in the morning. You haven't slept yet. Oh my goodness. That's a lot. You should try to go to sleep now. Watch this very boring YouTube live stream and it will make you tired and you can go to sleep. All right. Swoop up, swoop down. Swoop up, Swoop down. Uh-oh, I doubled my line. That was bad. That's okay. What does Bob Ross say? There's no such thing as mistakes in art. Only what? Come on, you guys. No such thing as mistakes in art. Only, what does Bob Ross say? Okay. No such thing as mistakes, only happy accidents. So my happy accident is right there where my line got a little bit extra heavy when I didn't mean to do that. So, oh well. There's two things I could do. One is I could thicken up the whole thing all the way around. And the other one is I could ignore it. I think I'm going to thicken up the line the whole way around. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like unevenly thick. So it's going to be more like a crescent moon. And then do the same thing here. So unevenly thick, like a crescent moon. And then, you know, this happy accident has created crescent moons all the way around my mandala. So I've convinced myself that that's the right way to say it. Happy accidents. Yes. Arrow meow. There are only happy accidents. All right. There's a bit of a lag here, obviously, but from when you type it to when I see it, or when I say it to when you hear it is actually when the lag is. So that's the beauty of, I'm using StreamYard to live stream, and it's kind of nice that you can pull up the comments because, yeah. Okay, so Tushar has a challenge for me, which is to complete it without turning my book. Okay, I'll accept your challenge, but there might be more happy accidents. Just gonna say that now. Because it is harder to not turn your book and still get have good control in the curves. Because I prefer to pull toward my hand when I'm drawing curves, and that gives me a better control, I guess, just generally. Not turning my book. I'm only going to agree to the challenge for this row. I'm not permanently agreeing because I might end up with a harder pattern at some point where I just can't possibly do it without turning my paper. But I'm trying for now. All right. Ba-dum-bum. MAS says, wow, I was way behind on the stream. And Elizabeth is back. Nice to have you back. She keeps coming and going. That's okay. Yeah, sometimes if you reload the stream, it comes back in closer to the real time. So actually, you probably could do it. It's very simple. You just take a very small idea and then grow with it. If you watch back the boring live stream from 15 minutes ago when I drew use my protractor and my compass to make the basic pencil lines, you just make a whole bunch of circles inside of each other, and then you make a whole bunch of lines that go out from the middle, and then you just pick one little thing and do it inside. That's how you do it. And so now I'm just fixing a happy accident that I did where my pen slipped a little bit and I made the line thicker than I meant to. So now I'm thickening up all the lines so that it looks like it was on purpose, because, you know. And I'm doing a challenge because I said I like to turn the page around in order to make my lines better. And Tushar asked me to accept the challenge of not rotating the paper. And I said I would. And it's not easy, but I did it. And so those guys have more thickness than these ones. So I'm going to see if I can fix that. Make it a little bit more equal. I think it's because these didn't come in as far at the bottom. They needed to come down more. I think that's it. It's not so much that they weren't thick enough. It was more that they just didn't come down low enough. Okay, next row. MS is saying, so simple yet so beautiful. Yeah, I think that is the beauty of mandalas, is that they are simple and they create beauty. All right, so now I'm on to the next row. What will I do in the next row? So right now it just looks a bit like a flower. And so it is a mandala, it's not a flower. So I'm going to try to make it more geometric. So I think what I'll do now is I'm going to go down the middle of this little section with some dots and dashes, and I'm going to go right towards the valleys of those little swoops that I just drew. And so every middle is going to have a dot and a dash and a dot and a dash. So dash, dot, dash, dot, dash. And I'm turning my paper. I took the challenge. I didn't love doing it that way, so going back. So here we go. Dash, dot, dash, dot, dash. That's what this is going to start with. So Elizabeth has to leave again. Hopefully she can come back. And MAS says, where do I get my tools? Wherever I can. So sometimes I order them on Amazon, and sometimes I get them at Michael's, and sometimes my mother gives them to me as presents because she knows I like art supplies. Yeah, but usually I try to buy local if I can, because it's better to support local stores. If you want to be able to go out your door and buy stuff, you should try to buy things from your local distributors. But sometimes there's things that I can't get locally, so I do have to order them online. So MAS says, I like to draw. So are you drawing a mandala with me? That would be cool. That would be cool. But yeah, if you guys are drawing along with me, I'm on Instagram. My Instagram handle has recently changed. It is now Lisa Artista. So if you want to look for me, it used to be Doodle Draw Art. But I'm going to start to make a little bit of a pivot with my channel. I used to mostly do art drawing tutorials, and I'm going to be starting to do some other different things coming up in the next little while. So I figured I'd start with a new Instagram handle and see what happens. And since I'm Lisa and I am an artista, and it rhymes, I thought, what the heck? Why not? Okay, so obviously this row needs more than just these little dots. So I have to think what I'll put with them. What to put with the dots? What to put with the dots? I could put diamonds. I could put diamonds. Kind of like I did with this one. Actually, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make loops that go around all of this so that I'll be able to color something afterwards, because this looks good, but it does need to have, I'm going to need to anchor it with some color. So Arrow Meow says, I'm drawing a bus station right now. Oh, that's cool. Are you on Instagram? And MAS says, I was going to, but I only have index cards. Well, use your index cards. And Luminaria is back for a little bit. Yay. Nice that you're back. Okay, so which shape am I going to do here? I'm going to do kite shapes. Okay. I just decided. So around these. So basically this is how you make a mandala. You just like make one little thing and then you just do it over and over and over. The secret is setting up the basis of the whole thing so that it's exactly the same shape all the way around. Then all these other things you do are just repetitive, and it's really relaxing. It's like a little bit of meditation while you sit and do your art. And sometimes it's pretty exact because you're trying to be exact. Other times it's not so exact, and you're just like, whatever, no big deal. No big deal. And I am turning my page because I do a better job this way. And I appreciated doing the challenge, but I would rather do a good job. So I'll turn it most of the time. Oh, I like that. It's cool. Sometimes you need to get perspective on what you're drawing in order to decide if you need to change or add anything. So when I look over at the screen, it's helpful. Luminaria is saying, how is the brick wall? All right, I'm going to show you my brick wall because it turned pretty good, actually. I'm happy with it. I was going to fix this so it wasn't upside down, but it's a mandala. There's no upside down. Here's my brick wall. There you go. Oh, it's not in focus. 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 There we go. Yeah, so it turned out pretty good. It's brick wallish. It looks like a brick wall. And I drew a little bird on top of the wall. All right. Let's see if this is getting dry. Nope, still wet. You can tell if your watercolors are wet. It looks dry. Like if you look at it, there's no sheen. But when you touch it, if it feels cold, it's still wet. And it does feel cold. So it's still wet. All right. So I have added a thing. And now I have to figure, oh, I'm going to double this. Okay, so I'm going to take another triangle, another diamond around the last one and go do exactly the same thing, only it's making it wider. So the trick here is I'm trying to keep sort of the same amount of space-ish in the middle between the line I'm making and the pattern that I drew before. But you see, everything that I decide to do is just one small thing. And then the repeating of it is what makes it look intricate. And again, like I said, the fact that I drew my circles with a compass and my lines with a protractor makes it balanced. All right, we're getting there. And what do you guys think? Do you color inside of a mandala, or do you prefer when they're just left black and white? I love to color things, so I'm always tempted to color them. MIS found some paper on the printer. Yep, the printer usually has some paper. Sometimes the printer, ooh, too close. Sometimes the printer has no ink, and you can't print anything. Too close again. All right, so now I'm going to have to start to wonder, because I've already done twice where I've bonked into my other line, I think I'm going to have to either bonk into the line on the same side all the way around, or I'm going to have to thicken this up and color the inside. So let's see. What should I do? So you see what happened here is I ended up, my line kind of collided with my other one. So I can just do that on one edge all the way around, or I can color in the distance in between all of everything that I just drew. I could now color in, which I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to color in all of this. So again, I just made one simple decision, and now I'm going to repeat that decision all the way around the whole circle and try not to make any happy accidents. Luminaria says, I like both. Yeah, so I guess if I took a photocopy, I could color one of them in, and then I wouldn't have lost the plain black and white one. Because if you color something and you didn't like it, and you didn't take a copy first, then you end up with something colored that you don't like colored. And the thing has been permanently changed forever. So there's that. This is a pretty chill stream. It's pretty chill. Almost halfway there. Oh yeah, I like it. So I'm seeing it now from farther away. Because when you're coloring, when I'm working on this little bit of coloring right here, I have to keep my eyes on my work, which means that I'm focused right in on just this tiny little area in order to do a good job. And then I'm not getting the whole view of the larger item. Not getting the global perspective. But when I look at it on screen, I can see the whole thing and I'm liking it. All right. So what's going to be next? I feel like it's going to have to be something that connects the edges of this section. I think I'm going to have to make a circle border that goes around this diamond section. Because that's one of the other things that's sort of defining feature of a mandala is that it's like rows and rows that go out. I cannot understand what Elizabeth is talking about. Nope, I can't understand. Try again. We have a Kishan Squad saying, thanks, Doc. Thanks, Doc. Hey, how are you? All right, so I'm doodling a mandala. I did a little watercolor, and I'm now just chilling with my pen and my sketchbook, making some designs. Okay, getting there. Okay, so what will I do next? So the line I was thinking about making is this one here, which I drew before with my compass. So I'm just tracing it. You probably can't see it though because it's pencil. So this is going to give us a nice curve, and it's going to bound in the thing that I was just drawing, and it's going to give me something to work from, like a new bottom ground. It also might inspire me to make another shape to go inside. I feel like it does need a little more something in that little space that I'm creating just below this line, or yeah, on the inside edge. All right, so I think I'm going to make little tiny triangles next. So that would be like here. So like triangle, like that. So again, it's not hard. I'm just going to keep repeating this shape all the way around. Oh, I can't see. There we go. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm noticing that the diamonds kind of poke out into the next tier. So I'm going to make another shape that goes around that. Now I could make it more angles or I could make it circular. And I think if I want this whole thing to feel like a flower, I'm going to make it circular. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from where this line meets here. I'm going to finish there, but I'm going to go like up to the next line and then down. So from where this line meets, I'm going to curve up and down. I'm just going to do that all the way around. So this line meets, curve up and down. And it's really helpful that I have this other pencil line that kind of guides me on where everything's supposed to go, because I know where to stop when I'm drawing this curve. I know how tall it needs to be because the pencil line tells me when to turn back around. Okay, there it is. Elizabeth is asking who my favorite YouTuber is. I have a few. I watch a lot of YouTube. I like Rin from Drawing with Waffles. I like all the characters that she designs. I watch a lot of Drawing with Waffles. I like Casey Golden, but when she moved to Japan, her content changed a little bit and it wasn't as interesting, so I stopped watching for a little while. I still like her, but I just wasn't watching as regularly. Who else? So now I'm going to make circles in here. I also watch like other content. So I like to watch Michael New. He talks about music theory. I like to watch gardening people. So there's a few gardening channels I like to watch. I like Mary Doodles. You guys ever watch Mary Doodles? She's old school. And who else? Oh, I like the Vlog Brothers. John and Hank Green. They're entertaining. Here it's coming along. It's coming along. So I think these circles that I just drew have to be black inside. Yep. Yep. Black inside the circles. Just trying to think, what other YouTubers do I hope to see new content from when I log in? Yeah, and I think lately it's just been a lot of gardening videos. I've been watching some people who live in Alaska that grow a lot of vegetables. And yeah. Oh, I like to watch the Delightful Travelers. They're like travel vloggers. They're from my local area, and they've been stranded in the Philippines during the isolation lockdown. I know what Beyblades are. You battle them in like a thing. You rip the cord, and then they spin around and they hit each other. Yeah, Beyblades. That's what they are, right? Got it right, didn't I? Elizabeth Madeira answered that her favorite YouTube channel is Doodle Draw Art. Oh, thanks. It's a shame I don't put out more content, huh? Maybe I will soon. Okay, what shape should I do next? What's gonna be next? Needs to be something. It needs to be something. So I was right about Beyblades. And the new season is coming out. Oh, I've never actually watched the show. I just know what the things are. All right, what shape next? Yeah, it is pretty cool. I mean, it just grows out of small ideas all the way out. So I think what I'm going to do next is going to be something that comes out of here. I'm going to make something to do with this X right there. Can you see what I did? Probably not. That little X. So for now, I don't know what it's going to be, so I'm just going to make an X all the way around. And then by the time I get back, I'll have an idea. Yeah, I think at the bottom of the X, I'm going to draw like a teardrop. And then at the top of the X, I don't know. An egg shape? Yeah, I could do an egg shape. And I am going to do a teardrop. It always feels like the space is small and you start to draw the thing, you're like, oh, I have more space than I thought I had. Okay, so now this is going to have a teardrop. It's going to come down towards the other thing. Kind of looks like two eyes and a beak. Okay. Teardrops coming from X's. Where do you even buy Beyblades anymore? You just buy them at the store, the local store? I haven't seen them in a long time, but I don't shop in the toy department, so I don't know. I don't know about toys. Somehow I knew about Beyblades, but I think that's because my brother used to use them, maybe. Somebody younger than me used to have Beyblades. I don't know if it was my brother. How long ago did they come out? Have they been out a long time? Or not as long as I think? All right. Now what? Now what? How long am I going to do this? Well, honestly, I thought I was going to stop about 40 minutes ago. So I guess I'm doing it until I stop, which won't be, I don't know, maybe a half an hour longer. I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. Your guess is as good as mine. I'm going to finish this mandala. That's going to happen. Elizabeth says, how long are you going to do this? Because I have all day. Okay, well, that's good. Me too, because, you know, we're kind of stuck at home here, although it is getting late. I'm on the east coast of Canada, and we're an hour later than everywhere in the United States, so it's 20 after 10. 20 after 10. Okay, so the next shape. The next shape. What will be the next shape? We'll look at it on the screen and see what is calling me to make next. 13 years ago, still going strong. Okay, yeah, I guess that is about how long ago I thought they came out. Okay. Are you guys making mandalas? What shape are you going to make next? Okay, so I made the teardrop underneath the X. Oh, I know what I'm going to do now. Okay, so each of these little X's has like a high point. I'm just going to go through and make sure that all of these little dots are the same height-ish. And then I'm going to make, what do you call it? Scallops. Yeah, I'm going to scallop down from the top, touch the top of that, and then go back up. So touch the eyeball and back to the scallop, back to the cross. Okay, so touch the eyeball, back to the cross. touch the eyeball back to the cross. Whoop, that one's higher. Touch the eyeball back to the cross. Thanks. MAS says, looks good. Touch the eyeball back to the cross. So when you do this, you end up creating like little spaces, little compartments. Because now inside of this little swoop, there's this interesting little cross with a little teardrop, and it's enclosed by the bottom, which has a triangle underneath it. So this reminds me like of a spider web, how it's swooping in. Okay, so now I have like this new established border, which is kind of nice, which gives me like a place to do a thing, which is what I've been doing all along, a thing. Okay, so next, ooh, I know what I'm gonna do next. This is gonna take a minute, but you know, Elizabeth has all day, so. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to make a dot that's this high. This is just going to give me a starting point and make sure that it's pretty much equal. So I'm going all the way around making this dot just as a guide dot. And then I'm going to do another scallop inside the one out, like just beside the one I just did. So scalloping again. And then after I do all of this, I'm going to fill in the space between the two scallops with, I think, vertical lines. Oh, hey, Lucas. Nice to see you. This is all very mesmerizing. Yes, it is. And a little boring, but you know, what else do you have to do on a Thursday night at 10? Nice to see you. All right. Yeah, I was saying this is like probably the most boring stream ever, but that's okay. Sometimes it just has to be kind of chill. All right. So I was also saying before you arrived, Lucas, that I'm considering a little bit of a pivot on this channel. It's been called Doodle Draw Art since the beginning. And while I am doodling and drawing, making art, I feel like mostly what I want to do these days is more like watercolors and stuff. So I may rename the channel and call it Lisa Artista, because that sort of reflects more what it is I want to do. Okay, so, and Lucas says, I joined a few minutes ago. Fun to listen to. Ah, well, thank you. All right, now my thought was, after I got this other row done, that I was going to make vertical lines all the way through the scallop, going up and down. Although I now kind of like the scallop just the way it is. So I have to decide if that's what I'm going to do. I'm trying to imagine it right now. I am. I think it needs to be, I think it needs weight. So first I'm just going to start off by anchoring the tops here. I'm just going to do that much and see if it's going to need more. So right now I'm just going to make heavier areas at the peaks. And then we're going to come back after and see what else it needs. We were also deciding, trying to figure out the right way to pronounce Mandala. And I think it's either Mandala or Mandala. And I decided that phonetically it must be Mandala because of the number of consonants in the word. But I'm still not sure if I'm right. All right. So a nice thick area here, going all the way around. MAS says, has anyone heard of Gordimer Gibbon's life on Normal Street? No. Maybe someone else has. Must be a TV show. Life on Normal Street. Sounds kind of normal. All right, so now this has anchored those little teardrop X's to my border, and it's given it a little bit more interest. And I think I am going to go ahead and add something in between, maybe just another line. So it is a TV show. Oh, I know. I'm going to go dot, 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 dot. 5 dots. Okay. So this one I'm going to fill in here. 5 dots. I'm going to go all the way around with that. I'm going to make the middle dot bigger. So 2 small dots, 1 bigger dot, 2 small dots. That's what I'm doing. Hopefully I have enough space between these lines to fit my dots. That's where it does kind of matter how precise you are when you're trying to fill in smaller details into bigger areas. Okay, halfway there. MAS is saying it's a show and it's anything but normal. Okay. And Lucas is saying we did a Mandala assignment for our English class. Our teacher pronounced it like the famous Nelson's last name. So Mandela. Nelson Mandela. Okay. Okay. That's how I think I decided to say it. But some people call them Nelson Mandela. So maybe I'm no further ahead with this. Nelson Mandela. Okay. I think I still have more research to do. How to say the famous African leader's last name that's spelt like Mandela. Mandela. Nelson Mandela. Okay, so focus. So we're getting there. All the little dots have been added. Now, so you can see my outside edge. I've just got a little bit of space left. I'm going to run out of room on my paper, so I can't make it any bigger than this. What is next? What is next? I'm going to drink some tea. It's Earl Grey with milk and honey. Okay, so we got the sunflower in the middle. We got the petals. We got the circles. We got some, after the circles, we have some loops. Then we had some diamonds. And we had some more loops. And then we had some crosses. And then we had some swoops. So it might be time for more diamonds. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a really long diamond that's going to start. It's going to come up to there, and it's going to go out to the corners like this, and then it's going to come in like this. Okay, that's what it's going to be. Diamonds all around. So it's going to start off like that. More things will happen. More things will happen. Yeah, so part of the strategy here for me doing this is using shapes repeatedly and trying to keep some cohesiveness so that they look like they belong in the same piece of art. So I'm curious why your English teacher had you drawing mandalas. That's how you say the famous guy's name. what would that have to do with English class? Maybe it was in a book you read, so she included it, or like it seems like more of an art class type of assignment. Well, sleep well tonight anyway, because I'm being very, very chill. Okay, now I have to decide what to color in. So maybe I'll do something inside of this diamond that needs to be colored, because if I try to color the space between this diamond and that swoop, then it's either gonna become blended in with this, or it's going to, which could be good or could be bad. So I think I'll do something inside the diamond. Lucas says, I'll have to show you what mine was, but they were on big Bristol boards with roughly 5 images designed into it that represented you. Oh, that's cool. So it was a personal expression art project. That's why the English teacher had you do it. Yes, I would love to see it. I would love to see it on a big Bristol board even. Okay, so trying to decide what to do with this. It's getting close to done. So, I know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to double up this last line, or trace around the whole thing. It's not really doubling it up. It's just tracing around the edge of the whole thing. Up and down. Turn it so I don't make a mess. I'm not really good at incorporating images of things into other things, like making a collage. I can make a collage of random things, but trying to make a collage of things that are actual individual things, I find it harder. But you're also very good at mashing things up. Lucas is a piano player, and he likes to play Broadway songs, and he likes to mash up different songs together from the same production. So he probably had no problem designing a mandala that used images mashed together. MAS says I should shade the diamonds. All right, so yes, I probably should. There's definitely a lot of empty space in there. So should I shade the diamonds solid, or should I shade them with stripes? That is the question, because it's a lot of shading. I'm going to start with stripes. If I don't like it, I can always go back. So first I'm going to draw them. I'm just going to go to the middle of the diamond and make one line. And then I'm going to fill in. So it's going to end up being kind of like this. It might not be dark enough. Maybe I'll color in between each of them. For now, I'm just going to go around. Yes, indeed you do, Lucas. He does indeed enjoy mashing up songs. And I like listening to them. Around and around we go. So yeah, this live stream was supposed to end around 9:30. That was like an hour ago. Checking out the time here. Yeah, an hour ago. We're an hour past schedule. I had so many technical problems getting this set up, though. Don't ask me why. The gremlins were out in full force. I have to have 2 cameras set up, and so one of them was going to be, I was going to have 2 different sizes of image so that the art could be bigger than my face. And then I was going to use my phone as one of the cameras. And then for some reason, the internet was horrible on my phone. The quality was ridiculous. So I had to give that idea up. So then I got my other laptop and set that up so I could have another camera. Because the software that I'm using, you can't have a second picture from the same device. You have to have it entering from an outside source. Unless you want to connect with like OBS and all that stuff. And I didn't really feel like doing that. But in the end, it probably would have been simpler than fighting and with my technology and having to set up my other laptop, my old laptop. All right. I'm getting there. I wonder. Maybe I'll do a thick line on the outside of this. I'll look at it from a distance in a moment and see if that makes sense. Because now that I've done all of this, I like the stripes better than I did when I just had it in the one little section. So, but I just feel like the edge is a little feeble. So if I go around the outside edge and darken it, maybe that will be fine. So that is all of the stripy stripes. MAS says, looks great. Thanks. But yeah, I think it needs some weight on the outside edge. Like these other ones that I did earlier, they kind of have just a little more defining outside. So one more pass. Now the question is, do I make it, do I leave it irregularly shaped at the edge? Do I make it more irregularly shaped than this? Do I turn it into a total flower by making it round? So many questions. Like, see, this one has like a round scalloped edge finish. And then this one is just straight. And so is that one. I guess I'll leave it the shape it is, but I'll just make the outside edge a little heavier. That's what I'm going to do. Yep, that definitely is what it needed. All right, so when I get all the way around here, I think it might be just about time to end the stream. Lucas says he likes points. Yeah, I like the points too. I think the pointiness is good. And then I'm going to get out my eraser and get rid of all of my little guidelines. That's my favorite part of making art, is getting rid of the guidelines and seeing the final product without any distraction. So tomorrow's Friday. Weekend is coming. Whatever that means these days. I've been still very busy. Despite it all, I'm working full-time still. And I actually have extra work. I'm also a piano teacher, for those of you that don't know me. And I got a couple of extra students from outside the province because not all the teachers are teaching digitally. Yes, Lucas says, I like points. And then he said, I knew what you meant. You like the points. And everybody else says, do I like thick or thin Sharpies? That's a good question. When I'm trying to color in a large area, I definitely prefer thick Sharpies. And when I'm doing fine line work, I prefer thin Sharpies. But in general, I don't tend to use Sharpies as much as I used to. They bleed through the paper a lot, more so than other types of markers do. And also, if you want to color with like a Copic marker, Sharpie definitely bleeds because it's alcohol based. And some of these other more like archival art markers don't make a mess with color when you add the marker. So I'm more likely to use a Pigma. I think that's a Pigma Micron. Woo, there we go. I'm more likely to use one of these than a Sharpie when it comes to line work. And they also come in so many different line widths as well. So it's you've got more variety. But that's a good question. So yeah, if I'm coloring in a big area, I'm all about the black Sharpies. They call them fine point, but I mean the ultra fine point is a fine point, but the normal fine point Sharpie. Show you what I'm talking about here. This one here, they call this, that's a Sharpie grip, but it's the same thing. Here's a colored one. They call this a fine point. They call this a fine point, but if you look at the actual end, like that's not a fine point. That's a nice big thick point. And the other ones, the ultra fine points, are the ones that are more along the same lines as what I'm using here, more for line work. Then there's like chisel tip. Cool water bottle. Someone has a water bottle? I have a tea thermos with cacti all over it. I got this from one of my piano students named Emma, and I use it all the time. I think it came from David's Tea. Keeps the tea really hot though. You have to be careful or you burn your mouth, which has happened often. All right, so I'm gonna do some erasing, but do I need to color in anything else? Have I got enough color? I think it's dark enough. Question. Lucas has a question. Let's pull it up. You may have answered. How do you keep the mandala a circle while doing all your shapes individually? Okay, yeah, so I just dropped something, so I'm going to pick it up. It was the cover for my marker. But I started off with with some tools to keep myself on track. So I drew concentric circles with my compass. And so small, bigger, bigger, bigger. And then I used my protractor and I drew quadrants all the way around, 20 degrees of separation each, which you can no longer really see. But if you look carefully at the edges here, you'll see there's some pencil lines. So each of these little rows was in between two of my concentric circles. So all I really did was choose a thing to do in one little section. So let me just draw a little sketch here. So like imagine this was my mandala, and then there's these lines like this. All I really had to do was make a choice about a shape that I would put in this area and then just repeat the shape in that space all the way around. So whatever I decided to do in there, I would just go and do it in all of them. So in the end, I'm only really choosing or making decisions about a very small area, and then it's just continually repeating. So you can see here my choice was to make this oval petal, and then I chose to make a line, and then I chose to make a circle at the end of the line. Then I went back in and colored in the little area at the bottom of these petals. Then I made this little whoop. So I went down and up, not realizing that what actually I was doing was looping over, because what I was looking at was the space here. So the down and up was filling up my little area like this. So I was going down and up to make, I was actually trying to make this shape, but in the end, it looked more like I was making this shape because your eye creates what it wants to see. It wanted to see these as loops and not as bottoms of diamonds. So Lucas says, I kind of want to do these myself. Yes, you definitely should, and they're not hard. And I'm thinking that MAS wants to do them too because they say they need a compass and a protractor. Now you can do it without a compass, but you can do it without any tools. It'll just be a little bit less precise. And so you could just draw circles that are bigger and bigger by, there's two things you could do. One, you could stick a pin in the middle of your paper and tie a string and then just go around getting further and further. Or you could trace some different sizes of things that are circles. So like look around your house and find circular things. So you could trace around a small circle. And then you could try to line up a bigger circle. This is a container of salt that I was using for my watercolors. So you could just try to draw circles, and then you could just get a ruler and divide up the areas that way. Okay, now I'm going to look for my eraser and erase the area. And I'm just always so tempted to color these when I'm done. Like, to me, it's like they're beautiful black and white, but I love color. So I'm half tempted to I'm always tempted to add color to these kinds of things. And so let's see, more comments. Lucas says, gotcha. Some math plus art. Nice. Yeah. So the math keeps the art in line. And then MAS says it's hard to freehand circles. It is definitely hard to freehand circles. Whenever I need to freehand a circle, I draw about 6 circles, and then I find the actual circle somewhere in all of that mess of circles that I drew on top of each other. And then I go back in and finalize the lines. But I almost never go right in with ink and try to freehand a circle. All right, I'm going to erase this too. This was like demonstration. This paper, this is a very inexpensive sketchbook, and the paper is very porous. So it doesn't like to give up the graphite. I'm just going to blow off the, there we go. All right, so there is the beautiful finished product here. I'll full screen this so you can see it in all of its glory. Da, 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 da. All right, so thanks guys for tuning in today and hanging out with me while I made art. It's nice to visit with you and have some relaxing art time together. I may do another live stream sometime in the future. I will do another live stream sometime in the future. When will that be? I can't actually say, but I'm hoping, I'm trying to get a little art project off the ground. So if that comes together, we'll see. Oh, look, you can see my background. That's cool. You can see my in the reflection. You can see my Ender 3 up on top of the bookcase. And what else is up there? Oh, just some tools for cutting up PLA. Yeah, so I'll do another live stream at some point. Check your feed. Put a bell on my channel if you want to make sure you catch the live streams. It wasn't very lively, but I really enjoyed I like the mandala part better than I like the watercolor part tonight. So that might be where I start next time. Just some chill, drink some tea, draw some mandalas, and you guys can bring your own compass, protractor, paper, and pen with you, and we'll draw them together. That would be awesome. Okay, so have a great day. Everybody stay well and be good. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.